What's up, everybody? This is the Chicago Sports Talk Michael back at it again with another Chicago Bears video. Hope y'all are having a not very stressful Monday because we're in all the Monday moods, if you know what I mean. But it's very unlikely Justin Fields gets traded, but I would be lying to you by saying it's impossible that it happens. It's not impossible that I do believe that there are teams that are calling for Justin Fields. The Atlanta Falcons were reported to make a call for Justin Fields. The Pittsburgh Steelers are reportedly calling for Justin Fields, and very unlikely, and I hope it does not happen. The Minnesota Vikings have chimed in on quarterback Justin Fields, our division rival. But I want to throw this out of the way. There is no way in hell we're trading Justin Fields to the Vikings. If we do, we deserve to get swept by them for the next 15 years because imagine like Justin Fields with the Vikings. I swear, if we do that, we don't deserve any good because you want to know why you do not trade your franchise quarterback to your ops. But let's get back on right to track, the more realistic. So when I hear Justin Fields' name, I hear these two teams a lot. The Vikings just came up, by the way. You hear these two teams, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons, very similar because I heard the same talk last year about Justin Fields being traded to the Falcons because that's his hometown team, and he always wanted to be a Falcon, Atlanta Falcon growing up. Play home with his family and stuff like that. So you hear that talk. And all I have to say is this. Do I believe it's impossible for Justin Fields to go to Atlanta? No, it's not impossible. But is it likely to happen? No. And I'm going to explain to you why. I think Atlanta would be better off going the Kirk Cousins route. And there's reports of them being interested in Kirk Cousins if he hits free agency, which most likely he would be entering free agency, and quarterback Baker Mayfield if he does not re-sign with the Buccaneers as the time of this recording. He's still a free agent. So I think here's what Atlanta is going to do. I think they're going to sign either veteran, most likely Kirk Cousins or Baker Mayfield, and they're going to draft a Michael Penix or J.J. McCarthy or trade up with us if we trade down with Washington and they get Drake May. So it's very likely that they do that, which would mold the reason why they would get Kirk Cousins is to draft his successor. And you might be asking yourself, Kirk Cousins is going to ask way too much money. Kirk Cousins is way past his prime. He's getting old. He's getting washed up. He's going to become a career journeyman at this point. And the Steelers, because Mike Tomlin is a huge fan of Justin Fields, people assuming that the Steelers would be a trade destination for Justin Fields. But ultimately, I've been hearing reports of them being sold on Kenny Pickett. Folks, and I've been hearing the offers. They would be getting a second round pick for Justin Fields, maybe in a third round pick. And according to rumors, reports that the Bears apparently wanted the Steelers' 20th overall pick for Justin Fields along with that. So I don't know if that's true or not. But apparently, according to reports, the Steelers had the best offer for Justin Fields, which Ryan Poles listened, but we don't know his decision. Folks, I can't harp and say this all along about how Justin Fields is very unlikely to get traded, but people make it a possibility that it's going to happen. But it's very unlikely because the two teams that I just mentioned, one of them is going to go the veteran round and mold the future success quarterback, and the other one is being currently sold on the Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph competition that is entering. Like, you hear that there's no trade value for Justin Fields, and then 2 days ago, you hear the report that they're close to a deal. So which one is it? And people will bring up, oh, Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport both said that they believe Chicago will indeed stay with the number 1 overall pick and take Caleb Williams. Okay. Ian Rappaport and Adam Schefter, they're both reliable sources. Can they be wrong? Yes. Not saying they're always correct, but that's their belief that Justin Fields will likely not be a Chicago Bear. That's their belief. They did not come out and say Justin Fields will be traded at insert name of team. They come out and said that, oh, we believe that this is the direction that the Bears are going, which honestly has been everyone's been speculating about how Ryan Poles has been handling this. And he's got the media and the talking heads and the YouTube content creators at the palm of his hand to not know what he's going to do or not. Like, until the next week, 4 to 5 days probably, the Bears can finalize trade offers. It will happen, which honestly, I do think teams are not going to include a player like the Carolina Panthers did because they saw how bad the Panthers offense was without DJ Moore. And a lot of teams are going to be taking that into precaution and so I will not be surprised if, hypothetically speaking, we trade with Washington. We don't see Daron Payne or Scary Terry. If we trade with the Giants, we don't see Kayvon. We don't see Andrew Thomas. We don't see who else? We don't see Dexter Lawrence. We don't see Kyle Pitts. We don't see Max Crosby. We don't see any of those players because you want to know why? Because of the they're going to give up picks. Don't get it twisted. They're gonna like, if you watch the interview, and I'll go pull it up right here just for y'all to listen to here. Shout out to Adam Mason for reposting this. This is a current general manager, general manager of the Washington Commanders, and he was interviewed at the Combine, and he was asked about what would it take for you to either trade up or trade down to make your team better.
A couple years ago with Trey Lance.
All right. Hope y'all can hear this.
For their opinions. Real quick, you guys traded up for a quarterback in San Francisco a couple years ago with Trey Lance. You're at the number 2 pick. Is there a scenario where you guys would be willing to trade up to the number 1 spot and try to get in that number 1 seed?
I think we do anything to make our team better. So you trade up, trade down. Had a lot of really good conversations with a lot of GMs this week, really productive. So we're going to look through every avenue to make our team better.
So that was the general manager of the Commanders, Adam Peters. He said, I have spoken to general managers lately about trading up and trading down. Do you want to know which general manager he's talking about specifically? Yes. King Ryan Poles himself. And I'll be surprised if we see a player in this, which he says he's going to do whatever it takes. That means trading up or trading down. So he has had conversations with Ryan Poles to trade up 1 spot. And do you take Marvin Harrison at 2, or do you trade down with the Atlanta Falcons so they can get Drake May or Jaden Daniels? What do you do if you're the Bears? And I've mentioned this before. If you take Caleb Williams, it would be a miracle on Burn Street to get Roma Doomsday, who is being viewed as better than both Marvin Harrison and Malik Neighbors. So you take Caleb Williams with the number 1 overall pick. Who are you taking at 9? Do you take Joe Alt if he's there? Or do you trade down and take the center from Oregon, which would probably be the smartest thing to do if you are Ryan Poles, because I cannot stress how much center is a big need, and we need Jackson Powers Johnson. I don't care if it's a reach. If it was up to me, I would trade the pick and take Jackson Powers Johnson with the 9th overall pick, because that's how bad the Bears are at center. And who do you take as a wide receiver? And people want to say, why you need a wide receiver? You guys have DJ Moore. And here's the thing, though. Outside of DJ Moore, who do the Bears really have on their lack of receivers? As of right now, because Mooney is leaving. Mooney's gone. They have Equanimeous St. Brown, Velus Jones Jr., Tyler Scott, who's on a rookie deal. And trust me, we're going to sign a veteran, probably Curtis Samuel, in a free agency, but he's not – I don't think he's – at this point, he's becoming a slot receiver. Who do you sign at the number 2? Who do you sign at the number 2 spot? Calvin Ridley is re-signing with the Jaguars. Mike Evans just signed an extension by the time of this recording, just as I was recording this video. So your best bet is to draft Brian Thomas Jr., who plays like a number 2, but you have to hope and pray that he has to fall into the second round with your Justin Fields trade. So the best scenario, I've said this all along, is to trade the number 1 overall pick and acquire future assets. And I said that a lot. Even if you want to move on from Justin Fields, wouldn't you take a quarterback, take the haul regardless, and still draft a quarterback in the later rounds? And all I hear is, Michael, you have to take Caleb Williams because he's a generational talent. You lose brain cells when you talk to these dumb fucks all day, like that. They don't understand football knowledge, like their dumb IQ. Like, you would be absolutely retarded to think that all the Bears need is a quarterback, and that's it. So you're telling me we don't need a center. You're telling me we don't need a complementary receiver behind DJ Moore. You're telling me we don't need another left tackle to compete with Braxton Jones. You're telling me, like, Mike, and I hear the argument, Michael, I think your team is fine. You just need a quarterback. So what I can analyze to you right now is when the days come, like the combine's over, I guarantee you Ryan Poles, Matt Eberflus, and maybe Shane Waldron and Kevin Warren are in there discussing their plans. And the plan is, I believe, to trade the pick for everybody and plus, trust me, if that day comes, when that day comes, I made a promise to Keith on the mic that we will go live as soon as we hear the news that the Bears have traded the pick, if it happens. And trust me, we're going to be sitting there and laughing at your faces if it happens. And 2, everyone's going to be shocked. Everyone's going to say Ryan Poles deserves to be fired. But we all know nothing's all set in stone. Everyone's been wrong about the Bears since Ryan Poles got hired. They were assuming we were taking Bryce Young with the number 1 overall pick and trading Justin Fields back then, even though people knew that we were trading the pick. But regardless, people still had us taking Bryce Young with the number 1 overall pick. They had us taking Jalen Carter. Me, myself included, wanted Jalen Carter, but we ended up drafting Darnell Wright and clowned us for getting Montez Sweat. And said that the Chase Young trade was the route to go instead of the Bears getting Montez Sweat. And ultimately, the Bears got better with Montez Sweat, and the 49ers did not get much better with Chase Young. So they took a risk, and it didn't pay off, but they're not losing sleep over it. But you get the point. No one knows what Ryan Poles is doing. Not even Adam Schefter or Ian Rappaport. Those are, even though they're trustable, they're not really. They're really trustable. They're just not always right most of the time. That's their belief. So until you hear the news that Ryan Poles has said that we're definitely trading Justin Fields, that's the route we're going into, then nothing that you say matters because it's up to Ryan Poles, not you. So anyways, that's it. That's all for today's video. Let me know in the comment section how you feel. As always, thanks for watching.